I went into a great amount of detail in the pro group today, in the town hall that we do every Wednesday, on these price, call them like psychological levels. And they have like a really good track record of just showing where psychological support and resistance can actually affect markets in how fast they move. There's no such thing as like perfect support and resistance levels that are going to be 100% accurate every single time. But the point that making here, and one of the reasons why I'm willing to target significantly higher for Bitcoin, is just we have a like Bitcoin's just has a really good setup into what I refer to as a psychological gap, psychological resistance gap. So all these red zones are clusters of psychological resistance psychological resistance levels, for lack of a better term, where price generally, just regardless of asset, generally slows down a bit. Right, it's a little bit harder to get through those psychological resistance levels. This one was kind of an exception, but we still did chop around in here a little bit, right? This one, and I went into detail like why, like what these specific levels are, and like why they're derived the way they are, and why they work psychologically to slow down price action, and why when you have a gap in these levels, or why these gaps oftentimes see price action move very aggressively and very quickly. So like I know this account like this on Twitter just went kind of viral a little bit for posting super high price targets. But I truly believe those targets are fairly highly likely, or I'm going to say fairly high, like highly likely. They're my base case. Doesn't mean that it's guaranteed. Doesn't mean that I can't be wrong, but they are my base case. I wouldn't put out price targets. I don't like putting out price targets at all, anyways, because I think it's a little bit cheesy. To like guess the price of like a parabolic blow off top. That sounds like a terrible idea thing to do, but I just think it's incredibly like I threw them out because I think the overall market and most market participants, like there's very few market participants right now that believe that those price levels are possible, or even likely, or even the base case, at least from what I see on crypto Twitter. So I kind of threw them out as like, knowing that it might reframe the way some people are thinking about Bitcoin here, because I do think that there's very likely a different demographic of buyers coming in for Bitcoin than your typical like retail trader, or even like your more advanced trader that is trading Bitcoin market cycles or whatever, and called cycle top and is gotten out or whatever. Anyways, big gap up to 370k, which again, like I know kind of a meme, but I think is a little bit conservative, because every other time we've gapped through one of these levels, we've jammed through deeper, right? Even last cycle, we jammed through the psychological gap all the way up above it. So just getting stopped short at this 370k target, like I could see us a world where we go higher than 370k.